Hello students, I hope you all are safe and doing well. As a responsible student, I hope you all are watching the YouTube videos made by the respective teachers of your class and doing the assignments on a regular basis as well. Students, I hope my videos what I have made earlier for the chapter is helping you out. If there is any query regarding the chapter or regarding the topic I have taught, you can send me an email which is given at the bottom, that is dhn.sanjay@yahoo.com. Now dear students, in this video I will talk about a very important hardware of a computer, that is computer memory. So let us proceed to see about the computer memory. So students, let us start with the topic, that is computer memory. So what is computer memory? Memory is the basic unit of a computer where it can store data and instructions. Students, computer memory is a physical device which is capable of storing the information in a temporary form or in a permanent form. Based on the function, storage units are classified as shown below. That is, it is classified into two categories. One is primary memory, another one is secondary memory. Primary memory are further classified into two categories, that is random access memory and read-only memory, and secondary memory classified into few more, that is optical disk, hard drive, flash drive, and one more I will add here, that is SSD, solid state drive. I will talk about that in the forthcoming slides. So let us talk about primary memory first. Primary memory is the main memory which is the basic unit of all computers. It has a faster access time and a smaller storage capacity with respect to the secondary memory of the system. Now, secondary memory of the system, when we say, dear students, we are talking about the hard drives and other disk drives, flash drives, SSDs, etc. This computer memory is accessed directly by the CPU. Now, why this is called, students? This computer memory is accessed directly by the CPU because the data and instruction which is sent by the user to the computer, which is to be processed, that data first goes to the memory, that is to the RAM, and then RAM sends the data to the CPU. That's why there is a direct connection between the central processor processing unit, that is the processor, and the RAM. It includes several types of memory such as processor cache, that is also called cache memory, and system ROM. However, in most of the cases, primary memory refers to the RAM. So let us talk about the first primary memory and the most important primary memory considered, that is RAM. Full form of RAM is random access memory. Now, random access memory, RAM, is the place in a computer where the operating system, application programs and data in current use are stored. Dear students, here it is said operating system, application programs and data in current use are stored. In current use, what does it mean? It means that whatever data, let us say when we switch on the computer. Now after switching on the computer's first duty is to open the operating system so that we can work on some application or we can access some data. So when you switch on the computer, the operating system's boot file, it first goes to the RAM. And RAM sends the data to the processor, and after processor processes the boot data, boot files, then the computer is able to open the operating system interface. That means that whatever data has to be accessed, that first goes to the RAM. That's why it is written, whatever data we are accessing from the computer, first it goes to the primary memory, that is in RAM. These programs can be quickly reached by the computer's processor. As I said, RAM is the smallest RAM is smaller than the hard disk, both physical in size and the amount of data it can store. Yes, physically also RAM is small, and the amount of data we can store, more data we can store in a hard disk in comparison to RAM. The storage capacity of RAM can be increased to some extent. RAM is much faster in reading the existing data and writing than other kinds of storage in a computer like hard disk, floppy disk, CD-ROM, etc. However, the data in RAM stays till the power supply to the computer is on. When you turn off the computer, the data information stored in the RAM is lost. When you turn on your computer again, the operating system and other files are loaded into the RAM, because the operating system files, as I said before, that first the boot files goes to the RAM, and RAM sends the data to the processor to process, so that the operating system interface should come on the screen. Thus, system gets ready for the user. RAM is also called random access memory because the data can be accessed directly by the storage location. Dear students, here I want to add few things. RAM is also called a volatile memory. What it is called? It is also called a volatile memory. Now, why it is called volatile memory? A volatile memory is a memory that loses its contents when the computer or hardware device loses power, that is the electric current. Computer RAM is an example of volatile memory. It is why if your computer, let us say, freezes, that means hangs, or suddenly reboots when working on a program, you lose anything that has not been saved. That's why it is said that when you turn off your computer, or whenever the computer gets turned off automatically due to reboot, or suppose it hangs, whatever data you were working upon, that is lost by the user when the computer turns off. Now let us talk about the second primary memory, that is ROM. Full form of ROM is read-only memory. ROM is the memory on which previously stored data can be read, but data cannot be written on it. The programs stored are not erased when the system is switched off. Thus, it is called non-volatile memory. As I said, students, RAM is volatile memory, ROM is non-volatile memory. Now, the ROM contains few things, that is BIOS, bootstrap loader, CMOS, power on self test, that is post. Now, what are these terms? BIOS, CMOS, then bootstrap loader, power on self test. Now, in the higher classes you will come to know about all these things, dear students, but a few things I want to explain. Like, what is BIOS? You might have seen, dear students, whatever brand, whatever company's computer you are using, let us say Lenovo, HP, Dell, Acer, etc., whatever it is, when you switch on your computer, the company logo first it comes on the screen. Now, even if there is no hard disk in your computer, there is no any secondary storage in your computer, if you remove that hard disk from the computer, then also when you switch on the computer after removing the hard disk, then also the company logo will come on the screen. Now, all these programs are written on a chip. It is programmed on a chip, and that chip is called a ROM chip. When you switch on the computer, the ROM chip gets activated, and thus, because it gets activated, the first thing which comes on the screen, that is the company logo, then the other things. Then I will talk about CMOS. Now, what is CMOS? Now, you might have seen, dear students, even if your computer is turned off for a month also, and after a month if you switch on your computer, the date and time of your computers remain as of the day when you have opened. That means it shows the exact date and time at the day and at the time the computer has been switched on. Now how it happens? It happens because of a small battery inside. That battery is called CMOS battery, and CMOS full form is complementary metal oxide semiconductor. Now even the computer is switched off, that battery helps the computer's time to be regulated all the time. And whenever you switch on your computer every after a interval of time, let us say after 1 day, 1 week or 1 month, whatever you say, still you see that the time and the date is okay. That day's date and time it shows, and that is because of the CMOS battery. Now power on self test. When you switch on the computer checks few hardwares of the system whether it is working properly or not. That is called power on self test. It will be explained in your higher classes, dear students, because power on self test has a long theory, so we will talk about some days later. Now this type of memory lets you store the data needed to start the computer. Indeed, this information cannot be stored on the hard disk, since the disk parameters are a part of data essential for booting. Students, all of the components in your computer, such as the CPU, the hard drive and the operating system, work together as a team. The memory is one of the most essential part of this team. From the moment you turn your computer on until the time you shut it down, the computer's CPU is constantly using the memory. Let us take a look at a typical scenario. Let us say you turned on your computer. After that, what will happen? The computer will load data from ROM, that is from read-only memory, and it will perform a post test. What is it? What this post is called? Power on self test, to make sure that all the major components, all the major hardwares are functioning properly. Then what is going to happen? Then the computer will load the BIOS, that is basic input output system, from ROM again. From ROM. First, what the ROM did? The computer loaded the data from the ROM and performed a power on self test to check all the major components of a computer. Then again, computer loads the basic input output system from ROM The BIOS provides the most basic information about the storage devices, boot sequence and other few items. Then after this, what happens? The computer loads the operating system from the hard drive into the RAM. The computer loads the operating system from the hard drive into the RAM. Generally, the critical files of the operating system are maintained in RAM as long as the computer is on. This allows the CPU to have immediate access to the operating system, which enhances the performance and the functionality of the overall system. When you open an application, it is also loaded into the RAM. When you save a file and close the file, that is, when you save a file and close the application, the file is written to the specified storage devices. That is, the file is saved into a specified storage device, and then the application is removed from RAM after you save it and close it. In the above scenario, what you saw, that every time something is loaded or opened, it is the place into RAM. This simply means that it has been put in the computer's temporary storage area so that CPU can access that information more easily. The CPU requests the data it needs from the RAM, processes it and writes new data back to RAM. That means after processing the processed data, it sends it back to the RAM in a continuous cycle. In most computers, this shuffling of data between the CPU and RAM happens millions of times every second. When an application is closed, it and any accompanying files are usually deleted from the RAM to make the room for a new data. It means whenever we are closing any application from the computer after using it, what happens? The data for that application is removed from the RAM so that the space of the RAM could be used for a new application. It makes a room, it makes a space for a new data to be used. If the changed file are not saved to a permanent storage device, that means whatever the application we are using, if it is not saved to a permanent storage device before being removed, means before we close the application, they are lost. That means we cannot access that data again if it is not saved, the file in which we are working, if it is not saved. I hope students now it has become very clear what is RAM and ROM. Now let us see the difference between the RAM and ROM. In RAM, data or instructions can be randomly read as well as written onto it. ROM stored information can only be read, but new information cannot be written onto it. Any information in RAM stored is lost when the power supply is switched off. That's why it is called volatile memory. Any information in ROM remain intact even if the power supply is switched off. That means it is non-volatile memory. Students, I hope the video was helpful. I will come with a new video to cover the rest of the topic. Till then, stay home, stay safe and take care of yourself. Thank you.